It's when we have an inequality and a negative that we need to pay very close attention. Let's take a look at a number. -2, let's make that bigger. -2 is less than 4. Now here's something that we need to think about, or not think about, but you need to realize. Whenever you multiply any expression, in this case an inequality, by a negative number, this guy has to flip. And here's why. We already know that -2 is less than 4. Now if I multiply this by a -2, it completely changes the problem. So whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So I multiply this by -2, and I multiply this by -2. So then if I go through the motions and finish my math, I got -2 times -2, which is 4. 4 times a -2 is now -8. Now if I keep the sign the same, it's no longer true. -8 is smaller. So you have to flip it. And the reason, this is why you flip it when you multiply by a negative number. It changes the sign of both of them. So if you have a negative on one side and you multiply by a negative, it's going to be a positive. So that number is going to be bigger. If you have a positive on this side and you multiply by a negative, you're going to get a negative. So this number that was once smaller than this one is now bigger than this one, so we have to flip it. That's something you need to remember when you do this. Solving inequalities is the same as solving equalities, except for this little guy here when it comes to a negative number. Don't forget, if you multiply any expression, let's move my high-tech board up a little bit. Any expression by a negative and it has an inequality, this guy is going to flip.